Yeah, me.
Just change the last digit, make it like 941. That way we have it good to go. And our request 41. Our request plus 1 divided by 2 is
21.
21.
which times 2 is
The
the
answer.
meaning of the universe.
Are we doing digital recording?
What?
Okay.
Yes. Luca, I just request for talking in the beginning, you either put it on hand raising or breathe first. Whichever you
I want to
prefer.
put it on hand raising.
Okay, cool.
Which intention should I put on?
Which intention? Either reflect or decide, I would say. And you can actually change that in between. So, like, if we're talking about something and then we're, like, figuring out if it's going to work, you could change to decide. I think reflect is probably good for now. All right, you guys ready?
Started.
All right. Looks like there's 2 things on today. Both of them involve me. One is from Luca and I, and one of them is from Luca and I, and we haven't had time to really discuss like details of what it's about, but we both kind of like had a request around it. So Luca, do you want to start by explaining why you wanted this up here?
I wanted to bring back Scrum because it was only like back when we did Scrum, it was only like a 3-minute thing, and or at least 5 minutes, something like that. And I kind of wanted to bring it back instead of scrumming something and then trying to find the person, then telling them what I want to scrum with them and all that stuff. I would rather have them actually at the Scrum meeting right there instead.
Right, so you're saying you'd rather have everybody in one place so that you don't have to go find people. Is that kind of your point?
Yeah, and Scrum is only like 5 minutes.
Okay. Go ahead, Dave.
I would like to point out that it's an insanely small school, so there's absolutely no reason why, unless you're lazy, it should be hard to find someone.
Okay, I actually agree with both points. And I will say the reason that I was like, interested in putting that back up there and that I, kind of felt similarly to Luca is that I sort of missed last year when we all had stand-up meeting together and we'd all declare our intentions together. And the reason that we don't do that anymore is so that when school grows, that stand-up meeting doesn't take forever. But I liked Scrum purely from the standpoint that it put everyone together in the same space at the beginning of the day, even if only for 5 minutes. So, I don't know. I kind of miss that, but I can definitely be convinced that we still don't need it, and that and that we changed it to unofficial Scrum for a reason. So, go ahead, Logan.
We can.
I don't know what we're talking about.
So Luca and I put this sticky up yesterday.
Subscribe, it says?
No, it says bring Scrum back. Because how now we've not been doing an official Scrum at the beginning of the day. It's if you want to plan something with someone, you just go find them and plan it. And I don't know. I think that's been working pretty well. I mean, logistically. Yeah. Do you have something?
I mean, from a mostly outsider perspective, coming here again this week, everything runs so much more smoothly in the morning without the high intensity blah that Scrum is or was the last time I was here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Internship in. Anyway, I wanted to bring Scrum back, but make it different than it officially was. If no one wants to Scrum something and no one wants to let's say I go up to the board, I don't want to Scrum anything, and no one's gonna Scrum anything with me, then you don't have to be at Scrum. And
Yeah, that's what we did last year.
last year.
But that defeats Ryan's purpose of bringing Scrum back, which is to have everyone in the same space.
Right.
Because Luca, I feel similarly. I'd love to, if we were gonna do Scrum again in mornings, my ideal version would be it's an opt-in, opt-out thing. But where that then goes is if the person if I've opted in and you've opted out and I want to schedule something with you, I have to go find you,
Yeah.
and we're not all together, so we're back to informal.
Let's say our ideas on popcorn. And,
I don't think that quite works right now because I think
There's
like
too
people.
little people.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough people for that. You can keep it on jump in though. That's kind of like popcorn.
Jump in.
Yeah, I don't know. Yesterday it was weird. Like yesterday at the end of the day, I was feeling, after talking to Luca about it, I was really feeling like I missed Scrum and wanted it to be a thing that comes back. And like I do still feel that way,
Scrum.
but I think it's like not the most effective for actually scheduling stuff and having the, like Chuck said, the energy not be like crazy and unproductive. Thomas, did you have something?
Yeah, was wondering, it sounds like the reason that you wanted to bring Scrum back so that everyone was together because for logistical purposes?
No.
Just
I mean,
'cause,
not
like, it's nice to
necessarily.
have everyone
I mean, it
together?
is for me. It's works to have everyone in one space so I can schedule stuff with them. I mean, but I realize that that doesn't necessarily work best for everyone, and that it's not efficient because when everybody's in that same space first thing in the morning, it tends to be a little crazy. Like
Yeah.
energy is definitely
Right.
crazy, and that's not productive for other people. So I'm willing to like do it differently if it works better for everyone else.
Luca wanted to have it back for what purpose? Why did you want to have Scrum back, Luca?
so it can be easier to find people because they're all going to be in the same space instead of
So you
somewhere
guys both-
sorted around the school.
You guys are both experiencing, like, several times that you haven't been able to schedule things with people because you can't find them?
Well, sometimes they may like immediately go out and buy some pizza, I guess, or something like that. I don't know.
I'm not saying that. I still have the ability and have been able to schedule things with people. I mean, also, I'm generally here a lot earlier than Luca, and, you know, I mean, it's just, for me, like, it's fine to do that. I think, like, I hear Luca, and I hear that for him, it's harder to, like, go around and find people, especially if he's getting here closer to the time we start spawn points.
I guess, Luca, what I'm trying to understand is if there's been like specific times where you were trying to find this person and it made it hard because there wasn't Scrum, or if there's just kind of this general ambiguous sentiment that like, oh, remember Scrum? That was fun. Let's do that again. You know?
Actually, there was this one time that I don't remember who, but I wanted to scrum something with that person, but immediately after, I think it was spawn points after we went to spawn, they immediately went to the deli, and it would be a lot
Nobody
easier.
ever goes to the
Dude,
deli.
he's talking. Do you want to finish?
And also, it's a lot easier to just take 5 more minutes off the school day and do scrum instead of being all separated, going to the deli maybe.
Gotcha.
I would like to point out that nobody ever goes to the deli right after spawn.
I don't agree
I
with that
would-
statement.
I would like
It
to.
might not happen often.
I would like to
but-
point out that it does happen. I think.
All right. Well, I don't think in the grand scheme of things it matters whether people go to the deli or not, because the conversation is about whether or not to bring Scrum back. Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
I just, like, from my perspective, it's been working really well. Like, this morning I scrummed twice because I scrummed really philosophy with Abby, and I scrummed Hammock and Notebook with Chuck. And also, I've seen Jack and, actually, didn't you scrum Redstone tutorial with Ryan?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
scrum
Well, that
is-
was easier because we were both in the same area at the same time, and we scrummed it yesterday,
So,
late in the day.
are we jumping in?
Yeah.
I would like to point out that you say you're in the same area. The entire school is the same area. It's so
Well, no.
small
It's getting bigger.
that
It's getting a little bigger.
no, it's not. It's always stayed exactly the same size.
I get what Luke is saying. Like, he means like they're in the same area because they're in the same spawn point. Like, I work on boats, and there's only like 140 feet by 20 feet by 10 feet that you can be at any time.
What
But
else
it's,
did you
Yeah, or else, you have problems, but it's still incredibly difficult to find people
This is what you
because
want to
they'll move when you're moving.
And
And so
Agreed.
I understand what Luke is saying. Like, yes, we're all in the same spot in the school, but you're not necessarily in the same. Like, if someone's in the lunchroom right now, we're not in the same spot.
yeah, and also, me and other people are on different spawn points. So when we get out of spawn and want to scrum something with that person still may be in their spawn point, saying what they're gonna do that day and all that.
But
So
then you can ask them right after when they're done.
yeah.
As long as they don't sneak off to the deli.
What if we
Ha!
what if we made the lobby? Well, theoretically, those things shouldn't be an issue because if we're having formal or informal scrum, the idea is like it happens before 9:30. It happens before spawn point. So if you're getting here at 9:15, you're fine. I thought I just had was that being aware that I tend to hang in the back room once I finish my morning errands, and like I would be willing to make the lobby comfier, put like beanbag chairs or something, and hang there in mornings.
Yeah, and just that would be like a designated area to come to if you need to schedule stuff with people.
So I see you as you trickle, and that would make me feel better about like seeing you all in the morning, but not needing to like coerce everyone to be in one space. And
I have a kind
Have
of
that
weird
energy.
idea. Basically, what if everybody had wrote down their favorite spot, so it was like the most likely spot that they were gonna be, and just put that up on the wall.
I'm pretty sure that
So,
that would be the lobby.
If you want to hold coherence for doing that project, you totally should. Man.
That project.
And disagree.
I mean,
Everyone's
that
it's
could
probably
just
going to
be
be
a-
voted to
like
be
a
the
fun
lobby
and
because the
maybe
lobby
useful
is
thing
the
to do.
easiest room to do it.
I feel like this topic's taken its course, and I would recommend those who want to bring Scrum back, since there's been enough raised as to why it doesn't make sense to do Scrum the way we've done it in the past. If you want to spend the next week trying to come up with a better solution and bring that to change up next week, then we could address that, but it feels like we're just kind of belaboring
Yeah.
hypotheticals right now. And I'll also point out that Geva still does have plans, I don't know when this will happen, but to create digital Kanbans that would be linked to our weekly schedule and daily reflections and all that kind of stuff. And so at some point you'll be able to actually send a Scrum request to someone on a tablet or see what the daily offerings are on your tablet and actually make those kinds of coordinations a lot simpler, even though we're in the same physical space and only 30 feet away from each other.
Yeah, I'm releasing it for what it's worth. I mean, I just just talking through it has helped me to feel better about it, and I think I'll try what Abby was saying, just kind of hang out in the lobby more at the beginning of the day. So Luca, for me, if you Scrum stuff with me, plan on seeing me in the lobby or in our spawn point.
And one thing,
Yeah.
remind me to show you something after this meeting.
Okay. All right. So can we put that in done, Luca?
Okay.
All right.
We have 4 more things.
4 more things? No. All those things in awareness down there, Logan, are just things to be aware of. They're not things that we have to move over and talk about really. And this was something that Abe had put up, and he's not here. So the other thing, I literally just put this up now, just because, not because I think that we need to do action steps, but just because I want it to be an awareness and I wanted to talk about it. Logan, do you recognize that symbol? I drew it pretty poorly.
Nike.
Yeah, exactly. You know what their tagline is? They're saying.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So you get the point. I wrote a sticky. It says
There
cleanup
was this joke
jobs.
where a guy jumped off the building, but it wasn't real. It was like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And then there was a huge sign that said, "Just do it."
Yeah, exactly. So I drew that Nike sign there on that post-it below cleanup jobs because I have been feeling like this week, a little bit last week too when we got back, that Abby and I have had to kind of it's been 3 o'clock, maybe 3:05. We're hey, it's time to clean up, guys. And you're still doing stuff. And I understand that transitioning can be hard, especially if you're in the middle of doing something. I've been in that place many times where I'm oh, crap, I want to finish this before I clean up. I get it, but at 3 o'clock, it's really important that we're able to transition into cleanup quickly, and not just quickly, but I don't want to have to ask you 4 times to go do your job. and Abby shouldn't have to do that. And I've heard other kids actually doing that. You know, like yesterday I heard Douglas remind someone, hey, it's cleanup, like, why are you still doing this and why are you not doing your job?
I wasn't here for cleanup.
Oh, you weren't?
Yeah.
Maybe that was there? I don't know. I heard someone say it. It doesn't matter. I just want to bring that into awareness, and I don't want to have to do that. Aiden, I see you. I'm sorry. I said one more thing to say. And along the same lines, this sticky that's in practicing, do job early when leaving early, I've noticed that that's not always been happening. So I just like want to remind people, and like everyone who this is for is not here right now, but that if you're leaving early, do your job to the best of your ability before you leave, so that someone else doesn't have to do it for you at the end of the day. Go ahead, Aiden. I'm sorry, dude.
So, Nolan steal his phone. I had an idea. Maybe what if everybody pretended that it was like cleanup at like 1:45
No.
for Fridays, or like 2:45?
Saying 15 minutes early.
No. Disagreed.
And then, so then you'd have enough time to like finish what you're doing, and then it'd be time to clean up.
So
What?
you want a 15-minute heads up?
Yeah, that's
is what
what
you're
I'm
asking for.
hearing.
Yeah?
I was gonna say the same thing. I was
And
gonna say I actually suck at, I declare failure at transitioning into cleanup myself, because often I'll see, oh, it's 2:50. What task can I quickly get done? And then it's like, oh crap, it's 3:02, and I really want to finish editing this web page, and so that doesn't work. So it would be helpful for me even if there was
Force yourself to shut off your computer.
at 2:45 someone announcing, or some sort of alarm that's pleasant, or some sort of recognition of it's 2:45, start like powering down, don't get into anything new. Figure at 2:45 you start figuring out how can I end the thing that I'm doing.
Well, we got like
Yeah,
6.
that sounds good.
Well, we have 6 whole hours a day to do what we want to do. And then 5 hours. And then
Or
after
4 on Fridays.
Wait, I'm finished.
and 4 on Fridays, 5 hours we got to finish doing what we're doing. And after 5 hours of doing whatever the heck we want, that's when we stop doing what we want. Why can't we just stick with that? 5
we have
whole
7
hours.
hours a day.
So I'm willing to be the 15-minute warning alarm. I suspect some of you have tuned out the tone of my voice when it says the words cleanup, and would encourage those of you with shiny new phones with nifty alarms.
I like cleanup
Yes,
time.
that's
And this idea to set yourself an alarm.
Yeah.
Find a sound that'll work for you, and like take care of yourself that way.
Abby, do you want to try a week of implementation on you and I giving? Actually, I wanted to ask: is 15 or 10-minute warning more useful?
Yeah, like we can do a 10-minute warning.
15?
Usually when
15.
All
usually
right.
when cleanup happens, like
I
I'm
think
not
10
doing
too.
anything at the end.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Luca. I think 10 also, but no offense, Aiden and Logan, but those two guys said 15 minutes, and I feel like they would benefit most from the warning, just because, like, I mean, right? Right there.
I am terrible
Okay.
at stopping for what I'm doing.
Thank you for recognizing that. So I'm gonna go with 15, just because I know that if I tell you it's cleanup time, you instantly start doing it. So I'm willing to try that for a week. Abby and I will hold coherence for that.
You'll be the alarms.
That's right. And I don't know, I might even do something crazy, like make a sign or something. We'll see. We'll have to wait for that and see what I do. But 15 warning, pre-cleanup, great, implementation, done. Alright.
I think that's all.
2 things I was looking at here that I think we can move over for sure. Clear end of the daytime, you must leave by 4:30. Day, I want to point out specifically, you've been doing that really well. Thank you for doing that without us asking. I think we can move this over to level 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody cool with
Or
that?
maybe even like halfway to master.
I'll put it on the line. I think if we
What
do
if-
that for another week, it's
What if we
mastered.
don't get picked up till 5?
Well, that's extenuating circumstances, and your parents would tell us if that was going to happen, so don't worry about that. Let's see.
What if your parents
Is Javert leaving by 4:30?
Yeah.
Aside from when he
Like
stays
10
to
p.m.?
support their
Yeah.
interest nights.
No, he's respectful of any daytime. Also, this one, the scrum practice as we're doing it now, the scrumming with people informally and then respawning at 9:30. I'm willing to put that up to level 2. Okay. Now let's see. All right, everything else I think should stay, except I want to ask you guys how you think you've been doing with this. No eating in any room except back
I'm
there.
doing horrible with it.
You are?
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
You really think so?
I really want to move
Have you been eating out of the back room?
Sometimes I like get a cookie, eat it on the way into.
That's why we
or
lie in this
something.
world.
So I don't know.
I've not seen that at all.
You did something on the way
I did
in.
where I jumped in and out of where it's supposed to eat, but I still have all the food in my mouth.
Right.
Nothing.
But
can come
you're
out.
not like getting your
Gross.
lunch out in another
This is
room.
why we
either,
lie.
I'm doing really bad with it.
right? That's okay, dude. You just learned that was in implementation or in practice.
totally
So.
ate an apple.
Lying
I
was
made
started
in
to
the
eat an
world
apple
for this
every
reason.
day.
Well, the idea is that we want to get this back into mastery so that we can
Aiden, I've
eat.
seen him had apple cores in
The
the
thing is-
end.
I know.
But yeah, I just
I think
bring
as
the
long
apple
as-
core to
Because
that
the
room.
main reason, if I remember correctly, the main reason why we put it up was because of this table having a bunch of food on it.
And
I
that
think-
one.
Yeah, and the main thing that was holding it back was we kept finding food pieces everywhere. So, I mean, as long as you're like really responsible and are aware of the fact that you're doing that, and like even Logan has just announced the fact that he did that, I think that means we are going somewhere with it. So that's my.
Like if everybody was saying like, oh yeah, I totally didn't ever do this at all.
I mean, I caught myself.
So is that, I mean,
I mean,
if you're reminding us of the spirit of the agreement, maybe would a better agreement be like clean up your, like eat your food and clean it up immediately, like clean up after yourself right away?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Or like,
people are aware of the fact that they're eating out of the room, and the main reason why we put it up there was because of the mess that was going on. So I mean, as long as, like, if you do it accidentally, as long as you clean up after yourself, then, I mean, that's not to say that you should just take it out when you go up and clean up after that. I'm just saying be aware that you're doing that, and then if you do forget about it, just clean up.
I think you should just remember.
Yeah, I think accidentally is a slippery slope. I mean, I totally forgot about it and took a bite out of my apple and then caught myself. But accidentally is a slippery word. I'd be like, oh, I accidentally brought my lunch over here, and now I'm eating it over here.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. Someone would be like, you can't eat here. Oh, it was an accident.
what was your thought, dude? What was your thought?
Oh, you're just stretching.
At least that's something I do.
Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't found anything this week. I haven't found like crumbs or cores or wrappers or anything. I know that doesn't mean it necessarily didn't happen, but I didn't see it. So I'm willing to move that to level 2, but I would like to know Abby's thoughts on that, and I don't know, I guess Thomas and Chuck, if you guys have seen anything.
Really, I appreciate
No.
that Logan's being honest about his
Except-
struggle with it.
Pretzel dust.
But that wasn't
No,
their
no,
that wasn't
I
their
know,
fault.
I
So
know.
I mean, I have to remind Aiden about a piece of bread the other day. But it was full, his hands were full of cleaning stuff because he was trying to do his job and eat. And as soon as I was like, look, your crumbs, he like picked them up. So it was not like it's a much different thing than leaving cookies in the makerspace, you know? Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
It happened.
Yeah.
That was one of the strangest things.
So-
like, that did happen, but I also don't, I feel like it's different than what's been happening. And I feel fine about moving.
Nice.
Yeah, because like we were leaving in level 1 because we were finding clear signs of food around every week, and I haven't found clear signs this week. So
Level up!
let's level it up. Let's
what are
level
we
it up.
talking about?
All right, we're getting kind of
No
heavy in level
eating
2
in any
there.
room is leveled up.
Oh, really? Yay.
I don't think I'm ready to move it.
If we get to mastery,
Yeah.
can we eat in this room?
Yes.
Or
exactly.
any room?
No, I don't think I'm willing to go back to any room, but this room definitely.
It was nice when we had any room, but it wasn't nice when we had ants in every room.
Definitely not. All right, I'm feeling clear. If you guys like, here's the thing. I would also say like this for something to be in awareness. If there's things in here that you guys are feeling like should be in mastery or that should be leveled up, I think you should check in with those before change up, like before we actually do the meeting, so that you know, okay, I really want to talk about respecting other people's boundaries. I think we've mastered that, and you can move it over. But I'm feeling personally clear, and like I'm ready to start my day. So
Hold on 1 second.
if anyone else has anything,
I'm writing down something.
I'm so excited for philosophy.
Today's philosophy.
Yeah.
do you want to just tell us what it is,
Luca?
Luca? I mean, you can also write the sticky.
I'm gonna put it in where
It's a cool story though. If you want to come, we can fill you in.
I really want to bring back.
All right. Well, wait. You don't even need to write that. We can still keep this here.
It was just
So the next step
it was
is
a joke, babe.
Oh,
the
okay.
next step is to spend this coming week thinking about like what that would look like to be a more successful Scrum and propose
A
it.
sticky, Phil.
Thanks, dude.
What
I got
sticky
it.
was that?
Wait 5 seconds to take the stick after a person's done speaking.
Did we master that?
No, it
No.
wasn't in Mastery. We released it because now the person who is doing the meeting sets how the stick is gonna work.
Wait, does the two parking lot ready today doing done awareness and safety?
What?
Never mind.
Okay, I thought it was a question. All right, everybody clear?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye bye. See you later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Connie.
It's cool. It's got like a thing on it. So
Wait, Ryan.
5 second thing.
Ryan.
This phone is